Hi everyone, New York Times bestselling author Jamie Brumfield, and I'm back today to talk to you about another one of our 100 days of 100 ways to reduce, manage, cope, deal with stress. And so today we're going to actually talk about things that you can and cannot control. So if you're interested in finding out more about how focusing in on what you can control and understanding and acknowledging what you cannot control, can help in reducing stress, then you're in the right place. Let's get started. So really what we're going to talk about today is there are things that we can control and there are things that we cannot control. Sometimes we find ourselves worrying about things that we cannot control, things that are outside of our power, things like certain diseases that there's no cure for, or things like our past, things that we can't control. Maybe our family. We can't control who we were born to. We can't control where we were born. These kind of things are real. I mean, they're things that people worry about. But there are things that we can control, and even things that are connected to these things that we can control. And so that's really the key here to this tool or this way of working through stress is using the stress journal or stress diary, which we talked about in a previous video. I'll link it up here in case you missed it. But using the stress diary to identify things that you are getting stressed over that you cannot control, and then find ways that you can work with that stressor, knowing that there are certain aspects of that you cannot control. For example, we cannot control where we are born. We may be born in a country that may not have the best infrastructure, right? Or the best opportunity. But we can control finding a way to move somewhere else. So there are things that we can do that we can control, even though we can't control certain things. So worrying about the things that we cannot control is only going to add more stress on you. But focusing in on with your stress diary, taking your stress diary and going over that and saying, yeah, so this isn't something I can control, but this is how I can work around that. I'm going to use the example of your past. We can't change our past. We cannot change our past. There's no way to change our past. Our past has happened. It has influenced us. It has actually, the experiences that we've had has made us make choices that we felt at that point in time were the best choices for us. And they may have been. And as you continue to grow and develop, you can change those in the future if need be. Sometimes we create bad habits because it's the only good answer to a solution that we have at the time, but then we can change it in the future. That's something that we use with hypnotherapy. We talk about that a lot with hypnotherapy. But okay, so there are things you can't change your past. Your past is what it is, but you can learn from your past. You can look at your past experiences and see how they may be influencing you to move forward with certain things. Maybe there's some limited beliefs that are creating havoc in your life right now that's causing stress. You can change those limited beliefs. We'll talk about mindset in another video, or you can use guided meditation to do that, or even go into a hypnotherapist who can help you with that. Go to a professional, maybe a therapist that can help with that. Those kind of things are options that if you want to do that. And those limited beliefs stem from our past experiences. We can't change the past, but we can alter our future by learning from the past. And so that's kind of the tip here with managing your stress, reducing your stress, is one, look at what stressors you have in your life and use that stress journal or stress diary. And if you don't have the stress diary or you didn't do it yet, again, I'll link it up here so you can check it out. But use that stress diary and identify what you can control and what you can't control. You can't Worrying about things that you can't control is only going to add more stress. But find workarounds, find ways to help you to change that. Another example of how the past, we cannot control our past, but we can learn from it is, for example, creating habits. Neurolinguistic programming is of the mindset, has the presupposition and the belief that we are not, our subconscious does not innately want to hurt ourselves. So basically, we design habits, but sometimes those habits that we design, like I mentioned with limited beliefs, sometimes those habits that we design was when we were working with a limited amount of resource, a limited amount of information. Maybe we were working with the idea that, oh, this is actually not going to hurt us, even though it might now, medical information could come out and say that it does hurt us. An example is that some people believe that smoking can reduce stress, but actually there's tons of data that shows that smoking does not reduce stress, and there's all of the health that goes related to the smoking. So I'm using that as an example. So sometimes, especially when we have a lower or less experience, our subconscious has less experience, sometimes the solution might have, for some people, might have, and I've seen this with hypnotherapy clients, might have been to start smoking because the belief was it is going to reduce stress. And what it may have for like a moment or two, but it doesn't reduce the stress. It only creates more stress with the health and all of that kind of thing. So the subconscious believed you were doing right for yourself at the moment, but those subconscious programming can be changed. And so you can't change our past because our past has already happened, unless you go out and find a new identity. I'm not saying do that. That was actually more of just a lighthearted, hey, let's insert some humor here because I was talking about some harder topics. So so basically, you can't change your past. Your past is what it is. It exists. It makes you who you are. And the experiences have created habits, routines, and beliefs. And these things, those are the things that can be changed. So instead of focusing or dwelling on the past and worrying about the past, then the idea would be focusing on what you can control, what you can change. And doing something like that will reduce your stress because you're not worried about something you can't change anymore. You can't change your past. You can't stop change. That's another example, right? That's going to happen. It's inevitable. And worrying about change is only going to compound it, right? So what can you do? You can prepare yourself for the change. The change is going to happen. So prepare yourself for it. Be ready for it. And in turn, the stress will be less. You see how focusing in on what you can control as opposed to what you can't control can make a huge difference. Use your stress diary and identify things that you cannot control. And then identify ways that you can work around what you cannot control and still make the changes that you want to make to help you move forward with whatever you're working on, right? So that is today's tip for our 100 days of 100 ways to reduce, manage, cope, deal with stress. And it's definitely an interesting one. You got to focus in on what you can or cannot change, and identifying those are going to help you. And that's your first step. And then make the plans on how you can maneuver around them. Like we talked about some examples. If you'd like to hear more examples of things that you cannot change, that you cannot control, and how to kind of find workarounds, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see about making more videos on that topic. But focusing on what you can control. Focusing on finding workarounds from what you cannot control. And those kind of things will reduce your stress and help you better manage your stress. And this is all about stress management, right? So what do you think of this topic? Let me know in the comment section below. And that is it for today's 100 days of 100 ways to reduce stress. And I will go ahead and link up the playlist above and below. So definitely check it out. If you've missed any of the other ones, there will be 100 videos in that playlist by the time we're done. So definitely great amount of tools just to add to your stress management toolbox. So check it out. You might find some great things that you already know about that were just refreshers, and other things you're going to be like, oh yeah, this is actually going to be helpful. So that was the whole purpose of this playlist. So I hope you find some great information in that playlist. If you are new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified when new videos become available. And if you've already supported this channel by subscribing and being a part of our family, thank you so much. Again, thank you for all the likes and the comments and the video shares and the playlist shares and the all of your support is so valuable and means the world to me. I really do appreciate it. We also have our May giveaway going on, so check out in the video description below our May giveaway for the Rafflecopter. You got daily entries as well as your one-time entries, so there's a lot of ways to enter for a chance to win one of the 12 prizes that we're giving away this month. All right, so that is it for today on this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm New York Times bestselling author Jamie Brumfield, and you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.